welcome to the Women Startup Entrepreneur Series. I am so excited that you could join us. Hopefully this is big enough where you can see everything going on. Ms. Allen, if you could tell my husband, I can't answer my phone now because we're starting. Anyway, okay. So guys, this is our startup, the beginning of the day. We have awesome interviews ahead, and I will be your host, Kristen Rice. I'm so excited that we are getting the imprint of so many awesome entrepreneurs, experts, people that are experienced in business and leadership in life. And today is going to be a phenomenal day. This is my first go around with virtual live television. We're used to just having a camera and putting the camera on you, and then I do the interview, But this is like, okay, I'm in front of my camera, guys, and I will have interviews. I will be interviewing. So my first talk show, and I'm excited that we're figuring out how to do this. We're maneuvering. So be patient with us. This is a conference. This is a series of speakers today. Each speaker will speak, or I will interview each expert for 30 minutes today, and they're going to give us feedback on their experiences through the different ways of business. How can you as an entrepreneur grow yourself and be the best entrepreneur you can be? How can you mentally have your mindset set up properly, be confident in who you are? Because confidence has a lot to do with leading. If you're not a confident leader, you're unsure and you're maneuvering, you're wavering. If you're not confident, you're not able to execute the things that you need to do. You want to find creative ways to increase profit. Of course, 2020 has brought crazy things to happen to us all. And I don't care who you were or who you are, 2020 made us all have to wake up and see that you have to be resilient in time of change and things like that. So 2020 has brought this to us, and I'm telling you guys, as business leaders, as business entrepreneurs, you have to be able to change and maneuver with the waves and understand how to be innovative in times like this. So we have a lot of people that the experts that will be here today are very innovative in the way they speak. So what is our lineup? Before we get started with the lineup, I want you guys to be attentive today. This is as if you were going to a conference. If you were stepping into a huge building and people are lined up and you have your chair with your notepad ready to take notes. You get to do it from your home. So if you're in your office, your home, on your cell phone, wherever you are, you're able to tune in. And this is a mindset that you listen to these experts, influencers, and authors, and try to pull from them to help you get to that place. So I said, be attentive, take notes, write down important takeaways that you can take for the future for your business and your life. And then today's lineup, I just go overview. An overview would be, we're starting off, we're kicking it off with the president of the Houston Texans, and I have my Houston Texans cup. Of course, we are west of Houston, but we support the Houston Texans. Whoop! Even though I'm an Aggie too, but we support the Houston Texans. Mr. Jamey Rootes is here, so if y'all were here, we would clap. And then we have next Terrence McMahon. We have Chris Patrick. Then we're gonna have Mitch Graff. We're gonna have then after that, I think we'll have a lunch, and so we'll have breaks in between the speakers. I think we'll do 3 speakers back to back, and then we're gonna have a potty break. I put a potty break, and then we'll go again for another 3 speakers. We're gonna have lunch, and then we'll do the end of day. Lunch will be 30 minutes. So we're keeping this on live all day, guys. You can tune in, make sure you share the opportunity, let people know they can still have opportunity to join and get on this this event. I will be live streaming as well from the Women Startup Entrepreneur Series, or the Women Entrepreneur Series, my Facebook page. So I should be streaming live from there. And I'm looking at my time. We're good on time. So let me keep reading. We have Miss Dion. After Jenna Dyson, we have Dion Austin. Then we have Barbara Hudson, and I'm saying it wrong, I think it's Houston. And my brother Terrence Murphy and Tristan Sutton. And then we have Paul Falcon to end the day. But we're gonna get excited for our first guest. But before I bring him up, this was the schedule set out. So from 9:20 to let's see, 9:20 today, I'll be talking to you guys. Then from 9:20 to 10:50, we're gonna have guest experts coming in. 10:50 to 11 is our 10-minute break. Then expert interviews again, lunch, and I hopefully you guys can see my screen here as we're talking. So this is our day. If you want to screenshot it or whatever, go ahead and do that. This is the daily schedule for this event, for this series, this conference, this summit. This is your day. I said, this is your day, guys. This is your day to transform your thinking and reach higher. Reach. Lift your hands. If you're in your house, lift your hands. Reach, reach, reach. So, I'm broadcasting from Fulton, Texas, in my office here, and I apologize if the sound or anything is lagging. Testing this internet. We out in the country, y'all, so we have to work with what we got. But I'm excited about today. So, as we're starting and as we're going, my question to you guys is this: what are your top 3 struggles in business? If throughout the day, I'll ask this question to you guys: what are your struggles in business, and what are your top 3 struggles? What is it that you need to fix to make a change or get to transform in your business? Like, what is irking you? I guess that's the word I would use. What irks you, and you need help with this? Like, whether it's in yourself or operational wise, structure wise, what is it? And then what are your top 3 struggles in life? You know, I know I have 2 small kids. Shout out to them, Reagan and Pierce. And my 2-year, I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. And I can tell you guys, even putting this conference together, very difficult when you have virtual school, teaching, working, you running a company. I also run, shout out to C. Gordon Realty and Pamela Allen, my team member. But C. Gordon Realty run this company, and you have to work, it's so many things you have to do in building a business and running and functioning in a business. So I hope I don't know why I can't see my chat. My help chat is trying to tell me something. Okay. I don't see. Okay, let me keep going with this. But what are your top struggles? So I was going to tell you, Reagan and Pierce, with my children and husband and everything, running companies, time management is so important. Time management, that's one of my pet peeves, but you have to get structure, especially if you want to be productive and make things happen. Structure. And I can tell you, a struggle in life I've had is even just trying to keep my physical body intact. And I even just currently, I've lost over 25 pounds, but it had to be through pressing and the pressure. And as I was telling somebody the other day, the only way you're gonna be that shining diamond is to go under pressure. The only way you'll shine is to press in. The only way gold is refined is in fire. So you have to go through things as entrepreneurs to get to a place you want to be in. My sister, which is my Pamela Allen, she works with me with C. Gordon Realty, and she had this on her desk, and I was looking, and it said self-confidence formula. It said, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistence, continuous action toward its attainment. And I, here and now, promise to render such action. in order to get to the place where we want to be in business, in life, wherever we are, we have to visualize ourselves there. The only way I was able to lose 25 pounds and get that down, y'all, was I had to visualize it. I couldn't see it before. Until I seen it, that was the only way I could get to it. And I'm saying you have to see it in you, in your spirit, in your soul. You have to see it, and then you can accomplish it. No matter what the trial, the pressing is, all things are possible. But you have to press in, and you have to be able to tell yourself that you will do it. It will happen. You see the end from where you are, and you're just walking in the process, just walking to get to the next step. I think my timing, I'm working on good timing because I had 20 minutes to talk to you guys this morning. I want to make sure you guys, now I can see the chat. So yay, y'all are in. Yes, clear. Thank you guys for give me some feedback. I am going to, let's see, do I turn over my screen? But before I turn it over, I'm going to go ahead and start with the bio. So that's enough for right now. I'm talking to you all morning about just purpose and what we can do. I am so gratefully honored to interview this gentleman, and especially this being my first guest, and having a talk show has been a dream of mine since forever. I remember being in college, and we used to have a group of friends that would meet at our church, which was St. Matthew's Church, where we had a college group that met on Thursday nights, and we had Bible study. We prayed, and it's funny because a lot of my friends, they ended up going to the NFL, or a lot of them are in business. Matter of fact, Tristan's going to be here, and Terrence, but a lot of them participated in this Bible study. And I remember I used to tell everybody, I'm going to have my own talk show one day. I'm going to do this. That's one thing I want to do, and I don't know how it's going to happen, but it will. And I've been able to experience interviewing people at different Dove Awards and things like that, but I've never had my own talk show. So this is an entity, and the transition of how things are happening is allowing me to have more access to you guys, to get out there and be able to bring to you guys these great people. So for me to have Mr. Jamey Rootes, the president of the Houston Texans football team here, it is an honor. All right, so I want to read his bio, and we are ready. Mr. Jamey Rootes has been an impact player in the sports industry for over 2 decades. He has led the startup of not one, but 2 professional sports teams that are both still thriving enterprises today: the Columbus Crew Major League Soccer franchise, and currently the Houston Texans football franchise. Rootes serves as the president of the Texans, and under his leadership, the Texans have consistently been recognized as one of the most valuable professional sports franchises, both in the NFL and globally. Also, the Texans extended their sellout game streak to 185 consecutive home games. The Houston NFL record, Rootes, that's the Houston's NFL record. So Rootes maintained an active role in the community by serving on the board of directors of the Greater Houston Partnership and the United Way of Greater Houston, both of which he presently serves as chairman of the board. Jamey is pleased to announce that he recently became a #1 international best-selling author, The Winning Game Plan, a proven leadership playbook for continuous business success, released on November the 10th, has become an international bestseller on Amazon, the J, and US Today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the Houston Texans and a champion for Houston, Mr. Jamey Rootes. So I'm going to bring him in.
We're here. Awesome.
Yay, Jamey. Look, and you're on the go.
I'm on the go, but I'm not driving. I've got it in park. Not to worry.
Good. I was talking to your assistant, Ms. Bonnie, which is awesome. She is on point. So I see why you're a productive leader. You have great people on your team.
I do.
For sure. Thank you for joining us today.
Of course, it's my pleasure, Kristen. Great to be with you.
Thank you. Am I clear? Can you hear me? My feedback clear when I'm talking to you and everything?
Yes, ma'am. We're great.
Awesome, Jamey. So I don't want to keep it long because we're starting right on time. It's 9:20 on my time, and we're getting started on the right path. You know, I vetted you online, and I didn't know you were the president of the Houston Texans team. I actually saw your book first, and what it said. This conference is about leadership. So I realized we're from the Houston area, what you've done with the Houston Texans team, and you've done phenomenal things where you started this thing from scratch, and it's one of the best marketable teams, money-making teams, I'll say, in the whole football NFL. You know, so I know Dallas Cowboys is some that reflect on, and I'm not going to ask you a question about it, but I know that you understand business, and you have to have some type of leadership capacity, mindset to know how to run a huge entity such as that. Okay, so this is why I had you, and not just that. I looked at your character on how you're working with the community. It's not just about you and the Houston Texans, but you're also bringing in charity and helping those that are around Houston. So that is important, especially as businesses. God didn't just give us a business for us to have everything for ourselves, but he wants us to spread it out. So I'm grateful for you just being here. And guys, if you guys have questions for Mr. Jamey, please start putting them in the feed, and I'll try to go back and see. But I want to start off with my question. And Mr. Rootes, family matters, and you also have an extremely important position as the president of the Houston Texans. How do you position your time? I was talking about time management. Do you time block, or walk us through a day in your shoes?
Yeah, so I've been a member of what's called Young Presidents Organization. I'm now part of YPO Gold, but the G is silent, so it's YPO Old now. But during my time at YPO, I'm in a forum, and there are 8 or 9 other CEOs in that group. And each month, what we do is report out on 3 buckets in our life. You know, what's going on with your work, what's going on with your family, and what's going on with you personally. And I always found that a great way to think about how to time block, that you really need to carve out time for those 3 key buckets and make sure that things don't consistently crowd each other out. I mean, that you're spending too much time at work, that you're not taking care of yourself, you know, physically and emotionally, that you're not spending so much time on you, that you're not spending time with your family. And so that's really been a very simple but very effective way to think about time. As you said, time blocking is to make sure that you fill all 3 of those buckets. And as you, thinking about my day, there's a concept in my book that I talk about, which is 4D leadership, leading in 4 different dimensions. And I find myself, as I think about it, I'm spending time in one of those 4 dimensions throughout each day and each week. Leading down, working with my team to make sure that they're clear on what we're trying to get accomplished, make sure I have the right people on the bus, and take care of, if we do have any personnel issues, that those get taken care of. Leading up, making sure that our ownership is confident in me, that believes that we have the right plan to be able to be successful. Leading out, so trying to build credibility And
Right.
because people really, they buy me first before they buy the team. And then
Right.
leading across, which is, really trying to be a great teammate, be the guy that everybody wants on the team. And so if you can constantly kind of toggle between those four dimensions, I just have always found that it works out.
That's awesome. And so you're in a group of men that are doing this, of CEOs, doing it together. So are you guys close friends, or you just work, like just kind of do that group together?
It really, it becomes your personal board of directors, and they also become your best friends. And you can't trust someone's input unless you believe that they care about you deeply. And so and we do retreats and the like, and we go and do silly stuff together to try to build that chemistry. And it's really been a very valuable group for me.
That's awesome. I know, masterminding. That's what it, to me, that's what it seems like. You're saying you mastermind. You're coming together, like-minded people, sharpening each other. The Bible talks about sharpening. Iron sharpens iron. So to sharpen each other is to help each other grow as people. That's awesome. I mean, I can see now. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
No, I'm just listening.
I was saying, I can see, I guess that makes sense. I know in your book and I've heard you say this before, birds of a feather flock together, connecting yourself with people that make you look good and you make them look good. I think I told you that in a letter. So you making me look good on my first show to be able to say I have the president of Houston, Texas on this show. And so you guys are sharpening. So I guess the takeaway for this, and I would say on this question to each that is watching is watching who you're around, watching who gives you feedback, and watch who's connecting to you. Connect with people that are going to make you better, sharpen you in different ways as a person to develop you, versus just having people that are yes men to just tell you what you want to hear, but they're not giving you what you need, if that makes sense.
That's true. I do think, yeah, absolutely. You need people that are going to give you honest feedback. The counterbalance to that is you don't have to listen to it. If you don't believe
Right.
what they're telling you, you can go do something else. But it's always great to have folks. In fact, yesterday I was visiting with one of my dear friends, a guy, John Johnson from Silver Eagle Distributing. We've known each other for 40 years, and he had a very clear perspective on an issue that I'm wrestling with. And at the end, I didn't concur with him. I didn't agree, but I thought it was amazing that he challenged me to think through my logic and make sure that I was making the right decision.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's good. I mean, good stuff. I'll ask you your second question. Success leaves clues. What would the Jamey now look back in time and discover are traits that the little boy, the teenager, the man possess to get to where you are today?
You're right. They're fingerprints, right? That they're things that are habits that are your kind of your ingredients to success. And for me, it's been about work ethic. I never was the smartest. I never was the fastest. I never was the best looking, but no one was ever going to outwork me. And number two would be my attitude, a winning attitude, positive, optimistic, team oriented, having a great attitude every day when I wake up. And then I guess the third would be a real focus on character and reputation. That I in business especially, and it may be in all of life, the only thing you ever take with you is your reputation, and you have to protect it at all costs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. I mean, it makes sense. So you said work ethic, attitude, character, reputation. Those are the clues. Would the little boy look up to? Would the little boy look back and see you today? And would he be proud of the man that you are today?
Yeah, I absolutely. I've just been very fortunate that I've been able to do things the way that I wanted to do them. my sister gave me
That's awesome.
a gift about 15 years ago, and it was a musical deal that spun in a circle. I don't know, like a music box, and it was Frank Sinatra's "My Way," the song "My Way,"
I love it. I
and
have it on my phone.
I've always just done what I wanted to do, what I felt compelled to do, not for selfish reasons, but I always felt like I was divinely
Right.
guided, and
Praise
the
God.
path, even though I didn't know exactly where I was going, the path would reveal itself, and it's just always worked.
Awesome. That is so awesome. I love it. And it's funny, that's one of my walking songs, My Way, but it's just something with that Frank Sinatra. I love it. I can play it over though. My husband gets tired of me playing it sometimes. But that's awesome. So you've had powerful mentors like Bob Lanier. And I mean, for a man with the type of personal develop, for a man with that type of power, what type of personal development has taken place in your life for you to have been chosen out of so many for your position?
I
Does
think
that make sense?
it's all, yeah, exactly, but it really is about results. If you deliver results, people give you opportunities. If you don't, they
Right.
won't. And so, um, I had an experience of working with Lamar Hunt, who was the founder of the American Football League, and I worked hard and got good results for him. And so he bestowed upon me his blessing, of me as a leader. And that was compelling for Bob McNair. That gave me that next opportunity. And Bob slowly gave me all the rope that I needed to get done what I needed to get done. Gosh, by the
Mm-hmm.
time we were ending, when he passed, I mean, we rarely talked. He just trusted that I would
Yeah.
I had his best interest at heart and allowed me to go do what I do. And if I ever needed him, I could call him. If not, he would be playing golf. So anyway, it's all been because of results.
Yeah. Now the results. How do you? And this is something I'm just thinking when you say results. But how did you strategically have the knowledge to be able to come up with these results? Like, do you have an MBA? Do you work? Did you get education? Did you see somebody else's structure before you learned how to develop your structure in putting an organization together?
Well, a couple of things. I've taken on roles that were beyond me and my capability at the time, and had to learn on the
Right.
fly. And that's where that work ethic comes in. That I was going to work
Mm-hmm.
so hard, that I was going to come up to speed so fast that no one would I would I would pick it up so quickly that they wouldn't realize that I didn't know what I was doing. Right. So
Yes.
that was the game plan. I have an MBA from Indiana. I went to Harvard's um, general manager program. I've read tons of books. I copy people. I look at leaders and say, I like that they do, and I'm going to put that into my repertoire. So I'm just a constant learner, and always
Uh-huh.
trying to do what I do better, challenging myself to compete with me. What's the best me, and how can I be better tomorrow than I was today?
Now, how do you take your time to self-develop and you're trying to run the organization? Do you balance that through a day? Like, I'm going to read 2 hours a day. I'm going to go and watch something 2 hours a day, or how do you do that in the daytime or blocking your time?
I just things. I'll come across things. I'll see something in the media. I'll see something on social media that I'm like, wow, I really need to read that. And if I don't have time to read the whole thing, then there's a there's an app called Blinkist that gives you 15-minute summaries of books. And so I'll be on a walk or a run, and I'll listen to it. And if I really like it, I'll buy the book and I'll read the whole thing. And if not, I'll move on to the next one. So I'm always seeking things out. How can I do what I do better? Who's got a better idea? Also, I've been blessed with one thing, only one talent that I have, which is
What's that?
creativity. And I can
Yeah.
see a blank sheet of paper, kind of like a great artist. I think they see chunk of granite, and they believe all they have to do is remove the excess in order for there to be a finished product. And I feel the same way. I look at a blank sheet of paper and I already see the finished product. And it's just a matter of time before we will put it together.
Wow, that's awesome. That is an awesome gift. And I see why you have a successful business going.
Well, it isn't me. Kristen, I can tell you're a woman of faith. God put these things in me. It isn't me. All I am is an instrument of what he wants.
Glory. Yes. Hallelujah. That's awesome. And even that humility, that helps you to be at a position to be exalted. You know, when the principles of humility work in every aspect of life, you know. I have somebody that they dropped your book in here, guys, Mr. Roberts' book, and I'm here interviewing Mr. Jamey Rootes, president of the Houston Texans, and your book. Before I just go to the next question, the name of the book, let me say, it's The Winning Game Plan: A Proven Leadership Playbook for Continuous Business Success. Did I say that right?
Yes,
correct?
Ma'am. Yep.
Okay. Your book, the proceeds are going towards the organization that helps the Houston, Texas Foundation. And so, guys, I dropped the link of his book. If you guys want to get a copy, if you want to grow your leadership, just perspective. I heard you say this is like if you wanted to give it to a kid, the kid would that was wanted to be working the league or some type of sports industry, that this would be a perfect book because they can have the mindset of a leader, or what you pretty much your mindset is put in this book. I had somebody have a question. I want to stop with this question. It says top 3 life-changing books. What are your top 3 life-changing books?
Well, number 1 would be The Road Less Traveled. And if you don't have the time to read, yes, it's by M. Scott Peck. If you don't have time to read it all, just read the first paragraph because it's so powerful. In it, he says, life is hard. The moment that you accept that life is hard, the fact that it's hard doesn't matter anymore. Because all of us spend so much time whining about how hard we have it. Everybody has it hard. And so the trick is to not think about that it's hard and just go about the daily chores that you have. You're blessed to be alive.
Right.
Second would be, there's a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And Viktor Frankl was a psychologist who was in a Nazi concentration camp, and his entire family perished. He's the only one who survived it. And in it, he says, there's 3 keys to happiness: to love someone, to achieve something, or to suffer with dignity. And that it really kind of sums up all of what your opportunities are in life. And he also said that the man that has a what to live for can endure almost anyhow. It's about a purpose. When you have a purpose, it doesn't matter that you're going to have to suffer, you know, because it's important to you. And when people tap into that purpose, I think that's really where you create a meaningful life. And number 3 would be a book called Confidence by Rosebeth Moss Kanter, who's a Harvard leadership professor. And she has a number of great lines in there. She studied a number of institutions, businesses, nonprofit organizations, sports teams, and tried to figure out what, how do winning streaks begin and end. And one of the main things that she said was the difference between winning and losing so often is how long people give it before they give up.
Wow.
So perseverance really is the key to victory.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great takeaway. If you don't give up, you'll get there, you know. And that's powerful. I'm sure you've had difficult decisions to make. And even this year, 2020, wow, it's taken us all in places of gratefulness to be here, and then expectations of what do we do in the future as leaders, as business owners. How are you going to function to take this next place if things happen, shutdowns and things like that? So in difficult situations, making time. I'm just going to ask you a question because I'm reading this and I'm like, this is not the question I have. How do you make those difficult situations? Where do you find your place emotionally, mentally? How can you get in a place of grounding to answer the questions that you don't want to make the choice or to answer? You want to give it to somebody else. Let me just pass it to you, but you have to do it because you're in your position.
Yeah, you know, almost all the decisions that I make are easy. The only hard decisions I have to make are the people decisions, because
Okay.
I pour myself into the folks that work for me. I love
Right.
them. I tell them I love them, but sometimes the people you love can't stay, and you
Yeah.
have to make that decision, and it's really hard. But I guess what steels me and allows me to make those occasional decisions that I need to about people is that I know everybody's watching me. And if I say that you have to have the courage to make tough decisions, I have to do that first. I have to lead by example. And
Absolutely.
if I pass the buck, if I don't take responsibility, then I can't expect that anybody else will take responsibility.
Yeah, that's it. How do you constantly reinvent yourself? I know you, you talk about taking something. If you see an idea and it works, you take it and you're going to use it too. It makes sense. You're just going to follow through. But how do you, because I heard you saying this, that you have customers expect you to always up your game. You always have to be better and better at at something. So you as a president of an organization, your expectations are, you want to increase your expectations. How do you survey the people? How do you know what expectations they want next? And then what type of a process do you use to make the changes?
Yeah, it's a good question. So first of all, in that it's not like we have 10,000 retail outlets across the world, right? I mean, we have one place where we operate, which is great. I mean, it's very easy for us because I'm at every game. Yeah, there you go. Go Texans. I'm at every game. My staff is at every game. We experience the game in a different way that versus our fans, but we observe a lot of things. We go to other games,
Okay.
In other stadiums, and see the experiences. We go to shopping malls, and we go to restaurants, and there's so many great ideas everywhere that you can always say,
Right.
hey, that might work with us. So we have our personal observations. Number two, we've worked with JD Power and Associates since the beginning of the franchise back in 2001, I think was our first year in using their survey instrument to gauge satisfaction and loyalty. And in those surveys that we do, there are always these little gems, whether it's the objective measures or the verbatims that people give us. They write in and they say stuff. Aha, that's a great idea. That's something. Wow, maybe that would
Right.
work. And then we do focus groups with different customer types, whether it's season ticket holders, suite holders, sponsors, and ask them a set of questions to hear, viscerally, hear from their voice what they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And you just it's kind of like gumbo, it's this gumbo that gets built, and then you decide, okay, here are 10 things we can do to make the experience better. And we spend several months as a team putting those things into practice. And I just believe that it's an attitude. It doesn't matter so much what it is you do, but what matters is the attitude that we're getting better.
Right.
You have to choose to either, if you don't choose to get better, by definition, you're going to get worse. So you have to choose to
Right.
get better.
Yeah. Yeah. Choose to get better. That's a mindset. You are leading your people. And so I'm sure you tell them this at a team meeting.
Of course, we talk about it all the time. The good news is we have selected, and through this process of churn, we have such outstanding people. I don't have to tell them anything anymore. All I have to do is cheer for them, praise them, reward them, recognize them, because they are so exceptional.
Awesome. You're telling some things that I think CEOs and you guys that run businesses, rewarding is good. Of course, that's the best thing. We, as leaders in our companies, not just scolding for things or trying to correct things, but when things are good, praising the people that are doing well so that others can see, okay, this is what I need to work towards to get to this position, to make the company better. This is what our leader is expecting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, Kristen. I took from my sporting experience that if you're self-aware, and most people are reasonably self-aware, when you did something wrong. You don't need somebody coming over the top of you screaming at you,
Exactly.
And as a leader, you might point it out and say, hey, this didn't go so well. What do you think you might want to do next time? But nobody needs to be yelled at. But what they do need to, they need to be praised, recognized, rewarded for doing the right thing, because that's how that behavior will happen again, is because you've recognized it. The best way to extinguish a behavior is to ignore it. If you ignore it, people will stop doing it. So when somebody does something well and you don't say anything about it, they're not going to do it again. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not a psychologist, but I do believe that positive reinforcement is so important.
Yes, absolutely. My husband tells me that when I'm yelling at my kids. I'm learning. You're teaching me. Come on, teach me. No, Jay, this is so awesome. I guess, and I want to end with this question because we have a few minutes left. But also, guys, if you look in the link, we have Mr. Rootes' website. You can click on his website, get connected, and what he's doing. He has his LinkedIn and Facebook, so a lot of things with the book. You can check those sites out in the scroll or in the chat. Y'all need something? Oh, okay. I'm getting people. They're bringing stuff in the office. 4D leadership, leading up, leading out, leading across. Oh, I had somebody bring me this in here. I guess it's a question they had. That's what you were telling me earlier. Two takeaways from the book, top 2 takeaways from your book for a new entrepreneur, somebody just starting their business, somebody has the idea, the grounding in their heart, but they have not taken off. Top 2 takeaways they can pull as a leader.
Yeah. So number 1 would be the true definition of passion, and people get it wrong. They think passion is something that excites you. It's fun. It's interesting. And the word passion, the root word is a Latin word, P-A-T-I, patti, which means the willingness to suffer and sacrifice for what you hold dear. And if you think about the Passion of the Christ, I mean, that did not look like fun.
Yes.
Okay. No. But he loved us so much. He was willing to suffer for our sins.
Yes, he did.
And that is it. And so you have to ask yourself, do I truly have a passion for what I'm doing? Because if you do big things that are important, you are going to suffer. You are going to have to make sacrifices. When you talk to a leader, the wrong question is, how did you get where you are? How did you get here? That's not the right question. The question is, what did you have to give up? What did you have to give up to get here? Right? Because it's all about sacrifice. And so it better be really important to you. So that would be number 1. Number 2 is I I was in graduate school at Indiana University, and this video was being played in our classroom, and this professor said, the purpose of business is profit. I don't
Yeah.
agree. The purpose of
Yeah.
business is not profit. The purpose of
Yeah.
business is to, number one, fill an unmet need better than anybody else in the world.
Yes. Yes.
The purpose of business
Yes.
is to support your community. It's to reward your employees. It's to reward your
Yes.
investors.
Yes.
And it is to reward your customers. It's this ecosystem that gets served because you do what you do better than anybody else on the planet. And so I would just ask, if you're an entrepreneur, are you doing something that uniquely fulfills a human need better than anybody else on the planet? And if so,
Yes.
have at it.
Awesome. 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 Good stuff. Jamey, our time is up, but I would love to keep going. And Miss Bonnie has a question I sent you in your email, but I'm not going to ask you. So check out that question when you get it. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being my first guest. I'll never forget you, and I just honor you today. And pray blessings and many more to your organization, to all that you're doing, and all that you're planning to do in the future.
Well,
thank you.
Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you. Tomorrow's my 40th birthday, so this is a happy birthday to me.
You're a young 40. Happy birthday.
Praise God. Glory to God. Thank you.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.